In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own Google site for Open House for possibly using student portfolios to display student work. First, I am in Google Sites and I'm going to create a new site. And you have a couple options about whether or not you want to use a blank template or you would rather just browse the gallery. If you're new to Google Sites, I do suggest browsing the gallery. They have schools and education in here. And then you can pick a template, whichever one you would like from here. If you would like to start with a blank one, name your site. I usually do something like my last name, open house, and then the year. You can select a theme. So any theme is fine. They have lots of different choices. I am going to pick something that is kind of simple and plain for this one, but they do have some really cute notebook paper ones. Where did that go? There's a legal pad. Madison's really cute. That could be an option. Sunset. More options if you want more choices. Different categories. I'm just going to go ahead and select. Where did it go? I'm going to select this homemade one and see what it looks like. Later on, if I want to change it, I can totally change it. So I'm creating the site. Apparently I've made that one before, so let's go ahead and make it for next year's class. Create site. So it's creating the site right now based on the information so far that I've given it. And once you get to the site, it looks something like this. There's a couple of tools you'll need to want to know about. This one is an editing page tool. If you click on this button, it loads the editor and you can edit your home page, and you have to make sure you save any changes. This one is to add a page, create a page. We're going to be using this one today quite a bit in order to add a lot of student pages to this one. And then you have a gear where you have a lot more options. Manage site and edit site layout are going to be two that you'll want to play around with. You also have sharing and permissions for the entire site as well. You can see revision history and you can look at your page settings from here as well. So I'm going to start out by creating pages for my students. On my edit page, I'm just going to write a general note. This is our class website for Open House, and save. So I'm going to add a page, create a page, and I'm going to name the page based on my student's name. So I have a student in my class, her name is Alina. And I'm going to keep the page at the top level and I want it to be a web page. There are other options available, but for this, because I'm going to have the students actually put artifacts that they've been working on this year in their page, I'm going to go ahead and select web page and create. So I've done that, and you can see Alina's page shows up under the home, and here is her page. It's ready to edit. I'm not going to edit it this time. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to press save. Okay. And then I'm going to keep making pages for all of my students. I have another student. His name is Alex. It's going to be a web page. I want it under the top level, and I'm going to create. And now Alex has his page. I'm going to save because I'm not going to edit this right now. Create another page. One of my students' names is Braden. So here's Braden's page, create. And there you go. I've got 3 students added already. Now, at this point, if you add all your students' names and each student has their own page, what I do is I go to sharing and permissions. Right now, my site is set according to my domain, which is my school domain. I need to change this. I'm going to do anyone at my district or at my domain can find and access, but I need to change it to edit. So anyone within this domain can edit, and I'm going to save. That will allow my students to be able to log in with their GAFE accounts and then to edit the page. When you get done with that, to go back to your home page, see this right here where it's in a bold script, that takes you back to your page. So let's say Alina logs in and she goes to her page and she's going to add some artifacts. She's going to hit the edit page button, and then I require my students to type to write a reflection. Short, 3 to 5 sentences. What is this artifact that you're submitting, and why is it, why are you choosing to use it in your showcase? And then I have them either insert, embed, or otherwise link the project that they've done. So to insert, you click on insert here. You can tell the kids they can insert an image. They could put a link. Usually for my class, we go all the way over to the Google side and we go to Google Drive, because in here they can actually embed their documents. So for example, my students did a letter to the author at the beginning of the year. They typed the letter in Google Docs, and then they can actually embed it in here. And I'll show you what that looks like. I'm just going to grab a random document that I have. Looks like I've got lots of things going on here that I've been working on lately. This is just our end of the year letter. Just throw that up for a second. We save. And when I get to this section, you have a gear where you can change the border. Do you want to change the title of it? Let's say it was letter to the author. I can change the height, the pixels, can save that. I can center it. I could wrap text around it or not. And then when I hit save, I will be able to see what it looks like. So here's Alina's page. Here is her reflection. And then here is the file that we've added. And if it's a file I don't want to have it anymore, I can go ahead and get rid of it, because that wasn't really a project that she'd be working on. Another thing that the students can do is to insert, they can insert drawings. They could insert a folder if you wanted them to. I like the visualness of having the documents actually embedded into the document, so I don't encourage them to do a folder. They could do a form, they could do a presentation, they can also put a video in that they have recorded. So I will show you an example of students' blogs from previous years or open house portfolios. This one was from 2015, and you can see I have put just a little snippet about, this is our portfolio. Take a look. I put a class picture. Of course, I have permission to use my students' photos in a public domain, so that's why I have linked that. And then each child has their own page, and I can click on, let's look at Caitlin's page. Caitlin wrote a story called The Grim Curse. She's written a reflection here. She embedded it into her, or she inserted it into her page. This was, she worked on something on the carbon cycle, which was an infograph. She was able to download that as an image and insert the image here, and she wrote her reflection. And then she had some videos that she had made as well, and they are linked from this particular page. When you get finished, students are done importing or embedding or inserting whatever artifacts they want to use for their open house. When you go back to your site, you're going to want to change the permissions. So I'm going to change my sharing and permissions now. Instead of being anyone can edit, I need to make this anyone with a link can view. And I'm going to save, and it's going to change the sharing settings for my entire site. I don't need to change it individually. There is an option to enable page level permissions. I generally find that I don't need to do that for my class. And I have 33 students in my class, and we're all very respectful of each other's space, and we don't have issues anymore with anyone deleting or changing people's work without permission. And then again, to go back to my home page, I need to click the bold link there. So then I take this URL, and this can be something that you take the URL and you put it into a QR code generator in order to create a code, and then you can just use a free QR code generator. This is one of my favorites that I use for just random websites. Cut that, paste that in there. There's my preview. You download the code, and then when you download it, I cut this out, and then I usually will display it someplace, either by my door to my classroom, someplace locally, and then I alert parents, you know, we're going to be using QR codes tonight for open house. Please make sure you download or a QR reader, or we will have some devices available for parents to actually download and be able to view the websites during open house. As an alternate, because that will get you the link just to the entire open house website. If I wanted each of these children to have their own QR code, then I had them each copy and paste this website. It's unique because of their name, and I would paste that. Actually, I created a Google form so they could just put their name and their website, and then I used an add-on called QR Code Generator in Sheets to create a document that had all 33 of those QR codes. And if you're interested in seeing how that works, you can check the videos that I've done on my site and see a demonstration for that as well. So this has been an introductory lesson about how to create student portfolios using Google Sites, perhaps for an open house project to display digital artifacts that your students have been working on all year. I hope that you learned something new and will try it out with your class.